Hello, fearless learner. It's Halima from Blackboard English, and today we're going to focus on mistakes. Mistakes to a language learner, to you, to me, to anybody learning a language, can probably be something that is embarrassing, something that we try to avoid when we are using another language or even our own, like, first language. When we're speaking, we generally try to avoid mistakes. So today we're going to focus on understanding if mistakes help you or kill your English learning journey. So let's find out. I'm going to start with a question. I want you to think about this question carefully and really think about where you fall. Okay, what is your answer? The question is, do you have a growth mindset or a fixed mindset when it comes to mistakes? Now, before you answer, I want you to know the difference between the two. If you have a growth mindset, you see mistakes as a way to improve. If you have a fixed mindset, you see mistakes as the worst thing that could happen and you can't improve. In other words, if you have a growth mindset, you likely see mistakes as an opportunity to develop and learn. And if you have a fixed mindset, you likely see mistakes as an indication of poor performance and you're more likely to quit or stop trying. So, stopping and starting, stopping and starting. If you've identified yourself with the closed mindset option, today, my friend, is the day you change. I want you to start seeing mistakes as the way forward. I'm not saying I want you to try to make mistakes on purpose. I'm saying that you start loving your mistakes and fully understand that mistakes are nuggets of gold in your learning journey. Let's start by understanding what you should do when you make a mistake. I'm going to go through 5 steps that help you have a growth mindset when it comes to your mistakes in the English language. So, if you feel like you have a growth mindset at this point, and you still need help from time to time, you should still listen and try to see if there's anything that you can add to your process. So, number one is to remind yourself that if you don't make mistakes, you're not improving or moving forward. Interesting, right? I know how mistakes can stop you. It can actually be the reason for some people to quit and stop trying. Do you see how powerful it is? So, if you're not making mistakes, and if you try to stop yourself from making mistakes and trying to communicate, this just means that you're trying to play everything safe. You're trying to stay in your comfort zone and you're not pushing your boundaries, which means you're not going to improve. So that was tip number 1. Tip number 2, once you find out what your mistake is, compare your mistake with the correction. So obviously, once you make a mistake, you know that there's the right way to say it. So you might be correcting yourself. So sometimes it can just be slip of the tongue. That's not really what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a mistake that you didn't know you were making. Somebody else corrects your mistake, or you realize while you're reading or listening to, like watching a movie, you realize that you've been saying something incorrectly. So I want you to start comparing your mistake with the correct version. So I recommend you writing your mistakes down and writing the correction next to it. So basically keeping a collection of your beautiful mistakes in a notepad, in a little book that you can carry around with you. Now let's look at number 3. Analyze and notice the difference. Look at the mistake. Sometimes there are no grammar or vocabulary mistakes. The only mistake you've made is to sound unnatural. English can be a funny language, my friend. Sometimes there are no rules, and please, for the love of all that's good, don't try to learn the grammar rules from someone else. It will confuse you even more, especially if you're at the beginner to intermediate level. I want you to focus, even if you're in advanced, actually, like the best way to learn grammar, in my opinion, is to try to understand the rules on your own. Try to see when we use this piece of language, how we use it. Try to notice it yourself. Let's move on to number 4 now. We're on number 4. I want you to say the correct version 3 times or more, so several times. If someone corrects your mistake, get them to say the correction at least 3 times so that you can hear it. I know this sounds weird, but it's actually a great way to start using the correct way of speaking or using the vocabulary in the correct way. But remember, before you do this, make sure that the correction that, so if someone corrects you, it's 100% correct. Check the word you said incorrectly in the dictionary. A good dictionary is yourdictionary.com. It actually allows you to input a word and then you you click on the sentence part and it will give you all the different ways you can use that word. I find it so useful to try to see how we can use a word naturally. So yourdictionary.com. The idea is to understand that the correction the person's giving you is the correct way of speaking. Number 5, start using and manipulating your mistake. This means you start creating different ways of the same sentence or phrase in different sentences. So you try to use it in different scenarios, topics, and so on. This will allow you to be able to use this language that previously you were, getting it wrong, and now you're able to use it in different contexts and actually using it correctly. And by manipulating it and changing it, it actually solidifies the way you use it and will make it more likely for you to not make that mistake again. All right. So those are your 5 rules, for 5 tips, I would say, not rules. I will show you an example of an incorrect sentence. I want you to pause the video and correct the sentence. Then I will show you the correct sentence. I want you then to compare and notice the mistake. Then I want you to write your own version in the comments. Let's look at the sentence. He bought the book from the bedroom and put it on the coffee table. He bought the book from the bedroom and put it on the coffee table. Do you notice a mistake? I want you to write the correct sentence below and tell me why it's a mistake in the comments. I want you to notice what the mistake is by yourself. Pause the video now. So the correct answer is he brought the book, not bought. So bought is the past tense of buy. And brought with an R is past tense of bring. So he brought the book, so he brought it from the bedroom and put it on the coffee table. So that's the correct sentence. I'm going to say it 3 times now so you can understand the correct version. This is a common mistakes made by native speakers and non-natives alike. So he brought the book from the bedroom. He brought the book from the bedroom. He brought the book from the bedroom. All right? So that's all for this week. Remember that you need to start seeing your mistakes as a tool to help you develop your English faster. And when you make mistakes, remember that you are doing well and you are in the right path. Thank you so much for coming to class this week. If you like this lesson, please make sure to share it with your friends and turn on notifications so that you never miss any new lessons that I make. See you next week, everybody. Bye.